Hello, everyone. Welcome back once again to our subject, Science, Technology, and Society. Now, if you could recall, last time we discussed about when technology and humanity cross. This time, we'll be focusing on another interesting topic, which is why the future does not need us. Now, before we continue with our discussion, I would like to know your opinion, your sentiments about these questions. Do you really think that the future will no longer need us? Please comment down your answers on the comment section. All right. So maybe you're wondering where did this question came from? Now, for the information of everyone, this question was actually posited by William Nelson Joy, or for brevity, he is commonly known as Bill Joy. It was in his article entitled Why the Future Doesn't Need Us, and it was published in April 2000. Now, ang naalala ko back in the year 2000 is that nandoon yung Y2K bug or the millennium bug wherein ang daming mga rumors or speculations roaming around like it's actually going to be the start of the end of the world, magkakaroon ng matinding advancements sa technology, and magkakaroon ng mga different kinds of viruses in the computer and even in mankind. So, ang daming mga umiikot no, na mga questions. But back then, no, isa sa mga famous authors, si William Nelson Joy, and as I've mentioned earlier, he actually created this article, Why the Future Doesn't Need Us. Now, I've read again, no, binasa ko ulit yung kanyang article, and in this particular discussion, I'll be focusing on the important gist or let's say the gist or the important topics na or points na gusto niyang ipakita sa kanyang article. And if we could summarize the entire article in one statement, ito yon perhaps. Now sabi ni Bill Joy, our most powerful 21st century technologies are robotics, genetic engineering, and nanotechnology. Well, these technologies are actually threatening to make humans an endangered species. Now, I was actually quite intrigued, and quite shocked at the same time upon reading this statement. First is that he actually created the article back in 2000, but he was able to predict it's somehow a prophecy of what will happen in the 21st century. And according to his prediction, no, there will be technologies like robotics, genetic engineering, and nanotechnology that will threaten mankind and will make us an endangered species. If you could imagine, no, from the word endangered, magiging extinct at some point. Now, hindi ko mailubos maisip na magiging endanger ang human being just because of technology. Now, pwede na nagkaroon na tayo ng maraming mga, nakarinig na tayo ng maraming mga endangered species, both plants and animals. But why do you think Nelson or Bill Joy speculated that these technologies would threaten humans and would make us endangered? So I would like to know your opinion again about this particular question. Why do you think Nelson Joy or William Nelson Joy or Bill Joy speculated that robotics, genetic engineering, and nanotechnology will threaten our existence? Okay. Now, to give you more idea about this statement, I would like you to look at this presentation or this particular part of the slide, wherein this is actually the messages of Bill Joy in his article. First, in his article, he mentioned that the rate and direction of technological innovation over time will lead to a world where humans are unnecessary. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng word necessary? Di ba ang synonymous ng word necessary ay needed, important, vital. So, according to Bill Joy, because of the advancements of technology, we will no longer be needed in the future. Now, if you could recall in the previous lecture video I've made, I've actually presented some of the most advanced artificial intelligences and the robots na most advanced sa panahon natin ngayon. Now, nowadays, no, maraming mga speculations wherein ang robots ay magte-take over na no sa ating mundo. In fact, there are already a lot of movies na nagpapakita nito like yung Ex Machina, ano pa ba, Terminator, even sa mga superhero movies ng Marvel, makikita natin doon no na yung mga robots doon, hindi lang sila basta machines, kundi meron silang sariling intelligence and meron din silang sariling emotions. Now, if you can recall also, doon sa previous lecture video and sa worksheet 8 na pinagawa ko sa inyo, I have posted some questions like, what if, no, what if yung mga robots magkaroon ng intelligence beyond that is equal or beyond the human intelligence? Will they be allowed to be given right? What if these robots also have emotions? Will they be allowed to marry human beings? What if these robots actually live like human beings? Will they be allowed to have property and other things na meron tayong mga tao? So, papunta na tayo doon sa era na ang robots ay hindi na lang tinitignan as tools or hindi na lang sila basta mere support sa buhay natin. But umaabot na tayo sa punto na ang human beings, yung mga researchers, mga scientists na gumagawa ng robot, they are trying, no, to elevate this robot and become human-like, no, both in attributes and skills. So hindi na lang sila basta programmed into a specific algorithm or into a specific function, pero they will be able to do things na nagagawa din natin. And this perhaps is the reason why Bill Joy stated that there will come a time na tayong mga tao ay magiging unnecessary. In fact, no, there are questions nowadays circulating about kung kailangan pa ba ng tao, no, in some particular jobs, like will there be job displacements because of the appearance or because of the development of these technologies or robots. Now, in fact, nag-uumpisa na nga, no, yung displacement ng mga jobs or yung pagkawala ng mga jobs sa na regular ay nasa tao. For example, yung ating mga BPO workers or sa customer service, di ba, when you try to do shopping online, ang sumasagot na sa atin ay mga artificial intelligences. And there are also malls around the world na hindi na nangangailangan ng mga tellers or ng mga cashiers. But kumbaga meron ng mga artificial intelligences available sa mga counters wherein isa-swipe mo lang yung card and then you can just simply pay, no, without assistance of people or yung mga normal cashiers na nakikita natin dito sa ating mga malls. On top of that, no, I've actually saw a video of a very advanced operation table na ginagamit sa hospital. Itong table na to, it can scan, no, yung sakit na meron ka at pwede niyang actually i-perform yung needed operation, yung right operation para gumaling ka. So imagine niyo, no, and that's no longer kumbaga that's no longer in need of human intervention. So papunta na tayo doon sa era na talagang pa-advance na ng pa-advance, no, yung mga robots. And there are also, no, robots created now in Japan wherein nag-i-start na silang maglagay ng organs, no, sa robots, not just yung hindi lang basta close enough doon sa itsura ng tao, kundi they are also starting to put some organs, particularly sexual organs, sa mga robots. So and I've already mentioned this in our previous discussion, no? May mga, like in Japan, there's a guy na nakipag-asawa na or nakapag-asawa ng artificial intelligence. So, abot na tayo dun sa punto, according to Bill Joel, where machines will be able to do without us, meaning they can already live independently, no? At hindi na nila kailangan ng ating help. Now, another message that Joy wants uh, to stress sa kanyang article is that instead of interacting with them in the way we historically have, like remember in the past ang tingin natin sa mga machines at equipments na ito ay just merely tools, but now they are being programs, they have algorithms, and they can do beyond, no, just they can go beyond by being simply tools. But they will now, according to Bill Joy, they will do our thinking for us. So, ibig sabihin, if you could imagine this scenario, no? Meron kang may available na robot at kaya mo yung i-purchase, and this robot can specifically do everything, no, sa bahay ninyo. Not just do household chores, hindi lang basta ipamalengke ka, maglinis, no? But pwede niyang gawin yung assignment mo, pwede mo siyang maging partner, pwede mo siyang maging kaibigan, pwede mo siyang maging drinking buddy, movie buddy. So, if that time will come na pwede na may ganun ng klase ng mental capacity ng isang robot, then perhaps pwede na maging totoo yung sinasabi ni Bill Joy that they will do our thinking for us. And medyo nakakatakot, no? Isipin na aabot tayo sa puntong ganon. At some point siguro meron din tayong mararamdaman na excitement to see na magkakaroon na ng mga ganong klaseng innovations and developments sa technology natin. But yung umabot sa punto that they will do the thinking for us and that we will become unnecessary, that is perhaps a different question. All right. So here's another question that I would like you to answer, and I would like you to comment again your answer at the comment section. Can we prevent a future with machines as masters? Alright. Now, bakit kaya natanong ni Bill Joy itong question na to sa kanyang article? Now, according to Bill Joy, if you could see at the presentation I've made, the overthrow of human species by machines is by no means inevitable. Now, bakit ba ito nasabi ni Bill Joy? Bakit yung darating daw tayo sa punto na talagang machines na ang mag-rule over us? If you could see, no, at our present condition right now, in the aspect or in the field of transportation, medical care or healthcare, governance, education, communication, weaponry, and defense, makikita nyo na available at nandyan ang technology. And we have come to a point wherein we can no longer live without technology. Uh, kung titignan din natin, no, just look at this scenario. We have nowadays the social media and we have different applications like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok. Madalas marinig natin ito, madalas naririnig natin ito that we should be responsible on how we use these technologies, on how we use these softwares and applications. But in reality, napakahirap talaga na kontrolin ang paggamit ng mga applications na to. Once na na-start mo, let's say, manood ng paborito mong palabas sa Netflix or ng paborito mong palabas sa YouTube, at lalo kung talagang napaka-interesting nito, minsan inaabot ka ng madaling araw sa panonood ng K-drama or whatever series na na-hook ka. And imagine mo, sometimes you even neglect, no, yung important responsibilities or duties na meron ka. Let's say if you're a student, alam mo meron kang klase kinaumagahan or meron kang kailangan gawing assignment, sometimes you set it aside and you prioritize, no, yung paggamit mo ng mga softwares and ng mga applications na yun. And alam natin, we know clearly na masama iyon, and we know that we have to be responsible and we have to regulate, moderate the usage of these technologies or applications. Pero napakahirap, no, gawin. Doon pa lang makikita ninyo na meron ng hold ang technology sa atin nowadays. And ano ba yung nagiging effect nito, no, kapag nasobrahan mo yung paggamit mo ng technology, pwede kang magkaroon ng mood swings or pwede kang magkaroon ng issue sa iyong anger management. Pwede rin magiging napaka-sensitive ka. Of course, hindi magpa-function ng maayos ang brain mo, ang katawan mo because kulang ka sa tulog. And the more that you're deprived, no, sa tulog, the more that you're deprived, no, sa necessities na to, the more that you're putting your health at risk. So napakahirap. And this is perhaps one of the reasons why Bill Joy is saying that the overthrow of the human species by machines is by no means inevitable. And there are factors involved. Bakit nasabi din ito ni Bill Joy? One is of course yung societal benefit. Sabi ko nga, in almost every aspect of our lives now, kahit na pag-upo mo pa lang sa bahay mo at wala kang ginagawa, you need technology. Especially no, sa ating bansa na napakainit ng panahon, hindi ka pwedeng mabuhay ng walang air condition or ng walang electric fan. No, sadyang napakahirap. Oh, yes, we can still live without this technology, pero imagine niyo yung hirap ng buhay. Okay? And of course, like in communication, paano tayo, like I'm an educator right now and you are a student, paano kayo matututo ng maayos, especially like now nag-cancel tayo ng classes sa ating university dahil sa napakainit, work from home tayo in a short period of time. Imagine niyo kung ginawa natin yan sa panahon na walang technology, walang laptop, walang internet, then natigil ang inyong pag-aaral for one straight week. So napakalaki ng societal benefit ng pagkakaroon ng technology. However, we have to face the reality that there will be potential job displacement, particularly no ang mga jobs na needed in the future perhaps will be about data science, about information technology, about robotics, genetic engineering, in the field of science and engineering. So nagdandoon yung threat no sa ibang mga trabaho at pwede silang ma-replace or pwede silang mapalitan no ng mga artificial intelligences and robots available. I've read some articles saying that the use of this artificial intelligence would even give no yung mga different business owners and corporations an advantage in their profit kasi bakit long term yung matitipid nila. Whereas or as compared to sa pagkakaroon nila ng mga laborers or mga employees. Now, another factor, bakit we get another factor kung bakit mahirap i-prevent nung future na machines as master is that yung degree of collaborations no among human beings. Now, in the past, we see that we rule over these machines and technologies, that we look at these machines and technologies merely as tools. But nowadays, no, nandun na yung partnership. Kumbaga, kumbaga now sa panahon natin namamanipulate pa ng tao no ang machines at technology, but come the time na ang machines na ay magkakaroon or let's say robots ay magkakaroon ng sarili nilang mentality, magkakaroon na sila ng sarili nilang kumbaga decision no because they already have that capacity to make decisions and they could have these emotions. And of course no kung mapapansin niyo din dun sa mga movies na napapanood natin available like yung isa sa mga uh, kakalabas lang na series sa Netflix na ginawa ng mga South Koreans, yung about, I'm not familiar if it is Death Agent ba yun? Yung scenario wherein nagkaroon ng scarcity ng oxygen. So imagine ninyo pag nagkaroon ng ganoong scenario at kumbaga sa series kasi na yun, wala nang natural resources, wala ka nang makitang puno, wala ka nang makitang mga hayop, talagang desert na lang, buildings na lang, at ang matindi pa, kulang na sa oxygen. So, pwede tayong umabot no sa punto na ganoon. And mostly ng mga napanood ko ng mga scenarios or mga movies about advancements in technology or yung mga robots na ang tema ay about advanced technologies, makikita nyo talaga na nawala ng mga natural resources kundi puro mga buildings na, puro mga advanced technologies and robots na available. So hindi malayong talaga magkaroon ng global climate impact, no? Hindi lamang sa ating bansa kundi sa buong mundo. Okay, now I would like to emphasize again the statement of Bill Joy in his article, Why the Future Doesn't Need Us. Our most powerful 21st century technologies, robotics, genetic engineering, and nanotech, are threatening to make humans an endangered species. So, papunta na talaga tayo no, sa scenario na to unless we do something about it. Now, let's try to discuss itong tatlong technologies na to, robotics, genetic engineering, and nanotech in a very simple manner. Let's just look at the tip of the iceberg and just I'll be presenting to you yung mga very important concepts lang. So let's start with robotics. Now again, in the previous video I've made, I actually showed you yung mga most advanced robots na meron tayo ngayon. We have Sophia, and itong ginawa na nasa screen nyo ngayon, yan si Atlas, no, na pwedeng mag-lift ng mga heavy objects, pwedeng mag tumbling, pwedeng tumalon or pwedeng maging katulong ng mga nasa field of construction or engineering. So naging super advanced talaga no ng mga robots na available para sa atin nowadays. Now, if we look at the definition of robotics, robotics is a branch of engineering that involves the conception or the creation, design, manufacture, and operation of robots. But if you look closely at the purpose of why these robots are made, you'll learn that these robots are made to assist humans in a variety of ways. Again, it's to assist humans, not replace humans. So merely these machines and robots are tools na dapat ay kaakibat, ano ba yung tamang term? Sorry. Kaakibat. I don't know the exact term in Filipino, but they are actually our aid, no, our help in doing our jobs in an efficient and an effective way. Okay? So In the previous lecture video and the worksheets I have given, I have presented there some documents na kailangan yung basahin. And we were able to discuss the three laws of robotics by Isaac Asimov. Now, if you could recall, Isaac Asimov is actually a fictional writer. So in his fictional series, meron siya dong pinakita or present na tatlong laws for robotics. Given that these robots already have the mental capacity like human beings, at meron na silang emotions and they can already make decision makings. Now, according to Asimov, sabi niya, yung three laws na to are robots must never harm human beings, robots must follow instructions from humans without violating rule number one, or robots must protect themselves without violating the other rules. However, upon reading these rules, hindi ko maiwasang isipin na paano kaya kung ang tao ang nakapanakit sa robot. Given the scenario na meron ng kapareho ng mental capacity ang robot at nakakaramdam na sila ng pain, may emotions na sila. Paano kapag nasaktan ng isang tao ang robot? I mean, saan papanig ang law? Sinong papanigan ng batas? No? And it's quite absurd in my opinion to think na papanig ang batas sa mga robot just simply because they have these laws or pag umabot na sa punto na mabigyan sila ng rights. So, I couldn't just imagine, no? Perhaps sa panahon natin ngayon, pwedeng nakakatawa itong scenario na to or pwedeng impossible pa ito na mangyari. But if you could imagine, no, kayo ng mga students right now, gagraduate kayo 5 years from now or let's say 4 years from now, magkakaanak kayo for another 5 years, so like 10 years, and then lalaki yung mga anak ninyo for another, let's say 20 to 30 years. Ano na kaya ang mundo sa panahon ngayon and what kind of technologies are already available at that era or that period? So, imagine niyo no, kung sa panahon natin meron na yung mga ganitong robots like Sophia who became the first ambassador of the robots and the first robot to be given a citizenship. How much more pa, no? 30, 40 years from now. Imagine kung anong pwede nilang gawin. So, I'll leave this question sa inyo. I'll leave this scenario in your mind at kayo ang mag-isip, no? Kung ano talaga ang possible na pwedeng mangyari. Now, another technology na na-mention ni Bill Joy is genetic engineering, but I have included here gene therapy. Now, these two are somehow similar because gene therapy and genetic engineering both involves the modification or alteration of the genes. However, ang pinagkaiba ng gene therapy sa genetic engineering is that sa gene therapy, ang pinaka-purpose nito is to prevent or cure genetic diseases. Whereas, pagdating naman sa genetic engineering, ang pinaka-purpose nito is to enhance the capabilities of the organism beyond what is normal. So, I don't know if you're reading some news or articles nowadays, sa genetic engineering, sa gene therapy, bago pa isilang ang isang bata, kumbaga sa ibang bansa, kumbaga they have the option na ipa-screen na no yung kanilang baby kung meron man itong genetic disorder. And pwede nilang malaman kung meron ba siyang trisomy 21 or yung tinatawag natin na Down syndrome, and pwede na nilang i-correct agad yun. Remember, trisomy 21 is yung pagkakaroon ng extra chromosomes sa ika-20 21st no na chromosome, kaya nga tinawag na trisomy 21. May pangatlo na lumabas doon sa normal na dalawa lang. So, and ang result nito ay yung tinatawag na Down syndrome o yung sa atin ay pagiging mongoloid. Now, kapag nalaman or na-detect no, early pa lang na merong genetic disorders yung bata sa napupunan ng buntis or ng nanay, ay pwede na nila itong i-correct no, through the process of, let's say, medication or perhaps through gene therapy. I-alter nila no, yung gene doon sa nasa sinapupunan. And then, when it comes to genetic engineering naman, perhaps ang pinaka-best example dito ay yung eugenics na ginawa ni Adolf Hitler no sa mga Jews, and we'll be discussing more of that in a while. Okay. Now, of course, hindi lahat ng tao ay agree or in favor sa paggamit ng gene therapy. To some, according to them, ano ba yung mga kumbaga fear or arguments nila, bakit sila opposed no sa gene therapy? Number one, they believe that the vectors may deliver the DNA to cells other than the target cells with unforeseen results. So remember, tandaan nyo, di ba, as we discuss sa genetics or sa inyong related subjects about this, the moment na nagkaroon ng modification sa gene, pwede itong magkaroon ng mutation, pwede magkaroon ng changes no sa DNA that could lead to a disorder or a problem sa individual. Now, remember, gene therapy is not 100% accurate or not 100% perfect. 100% that's perfect. Or what I mean is that it's not 100% na na solution. Okay? Pwede magkaroon daw ng problem along the way the moment na nagkaroon ng, let's say, pagbabago or alteration doon sa specific part ng DNA. Another one is that, according to them, viruses as vectors may not be as innocuous as assumed and may cause disease. Remember, by the way, the meaning of the word innocuous is that not a problem. Okay, or there's no problem at all. Now, according to some experts, now they remember these are still viruses, these are still bacteria, and the moment na inalter mo sila, or the moment na may ginawa ka sa kanila, they can actually mutate into a stronger kumbaga virus or bacteria or whatever it is. And it could actually lead to a specific disease. Pwede mas magkaroon ng disease. Remember, yung sa COVID-19 virus, it actually came from the SARS-CoV family. And nag-mutate siya into a new virus, and now it actually led into a pandemic. So imagine nyo yung pwedeng i-cause no, ng mutation ng mga viruses at ng mga bacteria na ito. Okay, another fear na meron yung mga experts about gene therapy is that adding new genes to a nucleus does not guarantee that they will go where desired. Meaning, ito yung sinabi ko kanina, hindi 100% ang gene therapy. No? Kaya nga parang sa safeguard lang, 99.9%. Kaya nga laging may nagtatanong, nasaan yung 0.1%? Well, that's the kumbaga percentage of error na tinatawag. So, meron at meron, no? Hindi siya 100%. And ang fear nila, it could cause no a problem. Okay? On top of that, sabi pa ng mga experts is that if the changes are not integrated with other DNA already in the nucleus, the changes may not carry over to new cells. So, pwede daw itong maging additional problem or burden. And that could actually lead to a bigger price. Now, please give me a moment at malulobat na ako. No, I'll just go back. Okay, so sorry for the interruption kanina. As I was saying earlier, if the changes are not integrated with other DNA already in the nucleus, the changes may not carry over to new cells and the person may have to undergo more therapy later. So ang isa pa na kumbaga argument ng mga against the gene therapy is that paano kapag hindi naging successful yung first trial or yung first try sa gene therapy at hindi nagkaroon ng changes or hindi effective at kumbaga walang nangyaring pagbabago, then eventually it will lead to another gene therapy. Remember, this procedure cost a fortune. Napakamahal ng gene therapy. And sa mga katulad natin, no, na walang ganong karaming pera, well, that's impossible perhaps. But then, nandoon na no, nung sinasabi nitong mga experts na to na kapag hindi siya naging successful sa first try, then eventually it could lead no, to another gene therapy. And the last one is that changing reproductive cells may cause events not seen until years later, and undesirable effects may have already been passed on to the patient's children. So this is actually one reality. No? Remember, perhaps dun sa tao na nagkaroon ng, let's say, modification or alteration sa kanyang DNA or sa kanyang gene, pwedeng maging normal siya, okay? At wala siyang maramdaman sa kanyang katawan. But paano pero kapag nagkaroon na siya ng offspring, nanganak na siya? And remember, during the process no sa mitosis and meiosis, no, naipapasa no ng parents sa offspring yung mga traits and iba't ibang klase ng characteristics, and pwede ring maipasa yung certain DNAs or certain parts of DNA na na-alter or na-modify. And paano kung sa offspring or sa next generation or the next generation, doon magkaroon ng problema. And then, that could lead to even greater danger. Kasi remember na kapag nag-mutate or kapag nagkaroon ng pagbabago sa gene or DNA, it could actually lead to a greater danger or a greater disorder. So these are the arguments of those who are against gene therapy. Now, let's move naman doon sa mga against sa genetic engineering. Now, according to some, genetic engineering is against the natural or supernatural order. we cannot deny the fact na maraming mga scientists, maraming mga researchers ngayon ang nagpe-play or nag-act like God. And human beings nowadays are at that level wherein they are so eager. Nandun sila sa, kumbaga, point na dinidesire tagal nila na, na maging parang Diyos, na mag-create, no, ng another Adam and Eve, but in the form of technology. And this is actually, kumbaga, somehow dangerous or somehow detrimental because in the history, no, yung mga na-create ng mga technologies and innovations, hindi lahat naging maganda. And some became very destructive, like the creation of the atomic bomb, which led to the annihilation of the people in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And at some point, no, ang tagal bago nawala yung effect, no, ng bombing na yon. And ito yung reason, no, kung bakit some people are primarily against genetic engineering, because through genetic engineering, remember, you are trying to modify the gene to create or enhance the capability of, let's say, an organism, a plant, or an animal, and pwede rin sa human beings. Remember, we can never forget, no, yung ginawa, sabi ko nga at the beginning of the discussion or at the beginning of the introduction for these technologies, na mention ko na isang example for genetic engineering ay yung ginawa ni Adolf Hitler sa mga Jews through eugenics. Ano ba yung eugenics? The purpose of eugenics is actually to create a superhuman soldier. So they try to alter, no, some parts of the body or even the genes of the person. And alam nyo, noon sa napanood ko na documentary, at nabasa ko mga article, sometimes, no, hindi sila nag-i-inject ng anesthesia or hindi sila naglalagay ng pampamanhid, no, doon sa mga Jews habang pine-perform nila yung mga barbaric, brutal operations. One example nga na nabasa ko is that they are trying to remove a portion of the brain and then ita-transfer nila doon sa mga wounded soldiers, or let's say yung part ng katawan, no, hahatiin talaga nila, tatanggalin talaga nila, and ita-transfer nila doon sa wounded na soldier, or let's say doon sa putulan na soldier ng kamay. And they are going to perform that habang buhay pa yung Jew. Bakit? Kasi kapag patay na yung katawan ng tao, then it's no longer, kumbaga, viable for, let's say, transplant, or hindi na siya pwedeng i-transfer to another organism kasi nga patay na yung mga nerves and nag-clot na yung dugo and other parts of that particular part of the body. So imagine niyo yung hell na naranasan ng mga Jews sa panahon ni Adolf Hitler. And this is the reason why, no, pag narinig ng tao yung genetic engineering, kumbaga na napapaalalahanan sila. They are reminded of the hellish past na naranasan ng mga Jews sa kamay ng mga Nazi soldiers, at particularly sa kamay ni Adolf Hitler. So to some also, they think that genetic engineering is actually dehumanizing. Bakit? You are creating something that's non-human. Speaking of genetic engineering, no, napanood ko sa isang TikTok video at sa ibang mga videos na may video about China. No, I don't know how true it is, pero i-share ko lang sa inyo. Baka curious kayo, you can also watch it on YouTube. Nakabuo daw, no, doon sa, according to that video, nakabuo daw ang China, particular university, at sa isang laboratory, nakabuo daw sila ng mga dragons. At hindi lang dragon, no, may mga pictures and videos pa na may isang, kumbaga, scientist na may bit na dinosaur. No, I don't know how true it is, pero I hope na hindi sila gumawa ng mga ganitong klase ng experiments that would harm, no, mankind, or that would harm a lot of people. Um, this is also my personal opinion lang, no. I also believe that yung COVID-19, virus is not actually, it's there are actually some articles or researchers saying na it's actually laboratory made. It's actually man-made. And there are already some data showing na yung other or previous pandemics or previous na mga sakit, viruses were actually created in the laboratory. And to think na gagawa sila ng ganoong measure or ng ganoong experiment just to earn millions of money, I don't think it's worth it. Kumbaga, you are you are creating uh you are creating a particular virus or a particular disease just for your own personal gain or benefit. And may mga speculations na ganun nga yung nangyayari. Well, we don't know the truth yet, but nonetheless, I hope na hindi iyon totoo. Okay? So, last technology na gusto kong banggitin or gusto kong i-share sa inyo is nanotechnology. Kung ang gene therapy at ang genetic engineering ay nasa genetic level or nasa gene or DNA level, ang nanotechnology naman ay nasa atomic, no? Atomic level, near atomic level. Now, nanotechnology is the manipulation of matter on a near atomic scale. And kumbaga nowadays, they've seen the potential of nanotechnology, particularly in the field of medicine, consumer products, energy, materials, and manufacturing. So we will be discussing, no, the pros and cons of this nanotechnology. Now, ano ba yung mga pros? Una, no, yung mga benefits na meron sa nanotechnology. Now, according to some researches and according to some articles I've read, nanotechnology can actually generate and harness a potential energy at the atomic level. Remember, no, yung si Albert Einstein when he created E is equal to mc squared, ang totoong purpose niya is to actually harness, no, yung energy available sa atomic level. But eventually, the experiment was created or was used, no, sa pag-create ng atomic bomb. And makikita niyo pa lang dun sa atomic bomb kung gaano kalakas, no, yung explosion at yung energy na meron sa atomic level. But if we could actually harness the available energy sa atomic level and use that to supply, no, the needed energy, let's say sa buong mundo, then it's possible, no, na pwede tayong mag-benefit doon. Furthermore, no, nowadays we have what we call the nanobots, no, in the field of medicine. Ano ba 'tong mga nanobots na 'to? According to some kumbaga, according to some experts in the field of medicine, these nanobots are actually used, no, to send or to actually remove yung mga blockage sa arteries, yung mga presence ng clot, no, sa let's say sa heart or sa brain that could cause aneurysm. And these nanobots can actually kumbaga remove, kaya niyang tunawin, no, yung mga uh, mga blockage na to or yung mga clots na to. So the surgeries could become much faster and more accurate according to data. And injuries could be repaired by or could be repaired cell by cell. It may even become possible to heal genetic conditions by fixing the damaged genes. So malaki daw ang potential din, no, ng nanotechnology to cure even cancer kasi nga the healing or the repair is from cell to cell. So it could attack, no, itong mga carcinogens na meron sa ating katawan that could cause cancer, or pwede rin siyang kumbaga pwede niyang gamutin, no, yung mga other diseases like leukemia na ang problem ay sa cell na, no, ng ating katawan. So sorry, if this is actually true, then eventually pwede. No, I mean, this is really a great discovery in the field of medicine. Imagine niyo yung innovation na pwede niyo itong gawin. Hindi ka na kailangang operahan pa, hindi ka na kailangan pang dumaan sa kumbaga napaka-difficult at napaka life-threatening na procedure or operation. They'll just insert these nanobots at pwede nang mawala agad yung problem mo sa artery mo, sa heart mo, or sa brain, or any part of your body. However, if we look at the cons, no, yung possible danger na pwedeng idulot ng nanotechnology ay kumbaga malala din, no? Napaka-delikado din. If you look at the first point, you'll see that the first con is actually the gray goo. Ano ba itong gray goo scenario na to? Remember, itong mga nanobots na to, no, once inserted in our body, they could actually consume everything and they could copy themselves. Kumbaga, they are self-replicating. Pwede silang mag-multiply. And imagine ninyo, no, kapag non-stop silang nag-multiply sa ating katawan or non-stop sila na kumbaga nag-multiply, ano kaya ang pwedeng idulot nito sa ating katawan? Remember, these are foreign objects, these are foreign bodies sa ating katawan and they will be considered dangerous sa atin. On top of that, no, pwede daw gamitin kasi ang nanotechnology o mga nanobots na to sa ating environment. But remember, the nanotechnology is still an unexplored territory. Kumbaga, hindi pa natin fully, we are not fully aware of the extent no ng pwedeng idulot ng nanotechnology. And to some experts, they say that the use of nanotechnology could actually produce new toxins and eventually become pollutants that could destroy our environment and even hasten climate change. Now, another one is that it could also lead to job loss. Bakit? Kasi nga, no, kapag nagkaroon na ng nanotechnology, imagine nyo sa field of medicine, they will no longer need doctors to operate or nurses to monitor these kinds of kumbaga operations, then nanobots na lang or yung nanotechnology na lang gagamitin nila, and this could actually create a jobless scenario for our medical experts if no mangyayari talaga ito. On top of that, no, sa nanotechnology, it could actually raise no problems in terms of military and defense. Bakit? Because this nanotechnology can actually be used also in weaponry. Imagine ninyo, no, yung nanobots na to, if they could just insert a bomb or let's say a poison or a virus, no, and na pwedeng pumasok sa ating katawan, imagine niyo this nanotechnology or these nanobots cannot be seen by the naked eye. So, imagine niyo i-release nila yan sa ating hangin, sa tubig na ating iniinom, sa pagkain na kinakain natin. I couldn't just imagine kung gaano ito ka-dangerous, no? And uh, the moment na, let's say, i-release nila to, just like yung nangyari sa pandemic, sa COVID-19, it could actually destroy the world, perhaps even annihilate the world. So napakalaking problema nito once na nagamit ito in the field of weaponry. Another, no, meron na rin daw possibility na mag-create sila ng tinatawag na smart bullet. Ito yung computerized bullet that could be controlled and aimed very accurately. And imagine nyo kung may laman pa ito na nanobot and it could multiply sa iyong body, baka instead of curing your body, pwede rin itong ma-manipulate at ma-program to destroy na the different parts of your body, particularly yung mga organs sa loob ng iyong katawan. And I couldn't just imagine how drastic or how detrimental will it be no sa ating buhay. So these are no the 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 effects of this technology mentioned by Bill Joy in his article "Why the Future Doesn't Need Us." Remember, according to Bill Joy, no, in these are the technologies that we have in the 21st century, and these technologies could threaten the existence of human beings. Now, I just want to know. Now, here are the references for this particular topic. I just want to know, and I would like you to again comment down your answer on this question. Upon learning about this topic, and upon learning the sentiments of Bill Joy, ano yung, kumbaga, opinion ninyo? Will this come true? I mean, ano yung naramdaman ninyo? Ano yung pumasok sa isipan ninyo upon learning this kinds of technology and upon uh, learning about the kumbaga yung anticipation or yung ano ba yung ramang term? Yung uh, upon learning the views of Bill Joy sa technologies nito in the 21st century. Now, please comment down your answers and thank you once again for listening. I'll be seeing you next time for our discussions, for our future discussions. Okay, thank you and bye-bye.